And with any luck, I too can learn not to like every single movie I see.
Thank you, Chester.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to. And... I kinda like Spider-Man 3. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I like it about as much as I like the other Spider-Man movies. Which, let's be honest, people, are stupid, stupid movies. I mean, I love them, I really do. In the same way that I love the first two Superman movies, even though they were goofy. But they're just straight up silly. Then again, what do you expect when your main character looks like this? Or even this? I guess I didn't understand why the last film got so ridiculed when it seemed like the other two movies had just as many weird moments. Granted, they all had some good action scenes, and they did address the dilemmas of being a superhero, but are we just going to ignore the really dumb moments? All those strange scenes that had us wondering if they were supposed to be funny or dramatic? It's hard to tell sometimes, isn't it? We hear about the guilt a college boy feels having maybe caused the death of his uncle, immediately followed by a giant octopus man putting together a death machine. Don't always go hand in hand, do they? These movies may be fun, but they were pretty loopy, too. And I'm here to count down the top 11 weirdest moments in the Spider-Man movies. Why top 11? Because I like to go one step beyond. So, sit back and enjoy the top 11 dumbest Spider-Man American flags. Not like any American, I'm proud of my country. It's a great place to be and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. But after 9/11, we seem to really want to remind ourselves of that over and over. Let me explain. Before 9/11, there was an ad for Spider-Man that you actually can't see anymore. It was a teaser trailer that showed a bunch of thieves escaping in a helicopter.
Sit back and enjoy the ride!
But then they get caught in a giant spider web between the World Trade Center. We back out and see the image of Spider-Man's eye and everybody goes nuts. They love it. It was a great trailer. There was even a poster that had that same image in Spider-Man's eyes. But after 9/11 happened, that trailer suddenly seemed inappropriate and was cut from the movie theaters. Hell, even the poster was scrapped. And not to sound like a conspiracy nut, but I think this scene was in the movie. I think this was the big reveal of Spider-Man. You ever notice in the first film he has no real big reveal, he's just sort of there? I think this is how they did it, but then cut it out at the last second. But again, I'm just speculating. So to make up for it, like every movie that came out right after 9/11, they put a big American flag in there. And of course, the post-9/11 crowd loved it. Yeah, it's a bit hokey now, but you could excuse the first film as it was reacting to the emotions of the American people at the time. But by the time the third film did it, the gimmick wore out its welcome. It was years later, and now it seemed like it was going from kind of forceful to uncomfortably forceful. You don't need to hammer in that Spider-Man's American. His freaking colors are red, white, and blue! How much more American can you get? Oh well, maybe this one's kind of nitpicking, but we're just at the bottom of the list, and there's a lot more goofy moments to go. Number 10. All those pointless characters. Maybe in the comics these characters played a bigger role, but in the movies, they just seem to have no purpose but to show that these people, well, were put in the movie. The teacher who eventually becomes Lizard Man in the comics, I don't count because, well, he actually does help Peter out in the movies. But what about characters like Gwen Stacy? From what I understand, she had a really big role in the comics. In fact, she was supposed to be the one that was hanging on the bridge when the Green Goblin makes that big drop. I don't want to give anything away, but she's dead. In the movie, she's just sort of a throwaway character. Yeah, Peter dates her for a second, but then she just vanishes. It'd be cooler if maybe she was the first girlfriend and then maybe Mary Jane comes in, but I'm probably thinking too hard about it. How about Dr. Octopuss's wife? You'd think her death would have like a huge impact on him, but he's like,
My Rosie's dead.
Whatever, I can get another one. Now how about that killer son thing I was working on? But the biggest one to me has to be the astronaut from Spider-Man 2. This guy is not only an astronaut, but he's also the son of Peter's boss, Jameson, and he's also marrying Mary Jane. Those are some big-ass qualities about him. And what do you remember about him? Not
Not a goddamn thing. You'd think this guy would be really interesting and probably play a big part, seeing what an impact he makes on everybody. And I guess he really doesn't make an impact on anybody. Mary Jane and him share maybe 2 scenes together. Him and his father don't share any scenes together. And we never see him do anything space related. What was the purpose of this guy? Just someone for Mary Jane to leave? That's pretty weak. Actually, I always thought maybe he was gonna be Venom. Wouldn't that make a lot of sense? You could have him go into space, find this thing, and then have it get attached to him. And he would have reason to go after Peter. He stole his woman. It'd be a lot better than getting that dweeb from that 70s show and hastily putting a backstory together for him. At least this guy did have a backstory going, even if it did lead to no character. Hell, Bruce Campbell was more developed than him. That is, all 3 of them. Oh, and there's also the landlord's daughter, the newspaper lady, the Green Goblin's butler, Mary Jane's parents. All of them have little to do with anything. And when they do, it either leads to nothing or just comes out of nowhere. I think a guy who dresses up like a voodoo pincushion is enough to hold a movie, guys. You don't need to develop all of these characters, or if you do, actually develop them! Number 9. The extras in Spider-Man 2. Sort of a weird thing to comment on, but have you ever noticed how hokey the acting was in Spider-Man 2? Not really from the main actors, they held up okay. I'm talking about the extras, the people in the background. I don't know, they just never seem to talk right to me.
It's a web. Go, Spidey, go!
What is she, Spidey's girlfriend? And for that matter, does she kind of look creepy to you? She friggin' looks possessed.
Go, Spidey, go!
How about that weird guy in the elevator?
Looks uncomfortable.
It gets kind of itchy. It rides up in the crotch a little bit, too.
How long are they gonna hold on this guy? Cut! Remember that weird bank teller?
Oh, that boy of yours is a real hero.
It's ironic because he's Spider-Man. You also got this awkward firefighter.
You got some guts, kid.
Some poor soul got trapped on the 4th floor.
What is he, a Vulcan? Show some emotion, guy! For God's sakes, they're firefighters. Don't they see dead people all the time?
Some poor soul got trapped on the 4th floor.
Oh, real nice, Lou. Just say that in front of the kid I just said has guts. Maybe that would mess him up. Maybe he dresses up like a spider and saves people. You ever think of that, Lou? How about the train scene? I think the kids are the best actors here.
He's mine!
You want to get to him, you got to go through me.
And me.
Me too.
And me. And me!
And me.
Plus, what the hell are Big Pussy and Dr. Katz doing there? I think my favorite, though, has got to be that screaming woman in the building Doc Ock is climbing. An arm! A robotic arm! Apocalypse! Speaking of which, that's another possessed-looking face, isn't it? I don't know, maybe another nitpick, but the extras in this movie just never seem natural to me. But again, this is a movie with an 8-legged doctor, how natural can it get?
Shame on you.
Number 8. The effects in Spider-Man 1. As the films moved on, the effects got better and better. By the time 2 and 3 came around, they looked damn amazing. But in the first movie, they were pretty off. Come on, did you ever believe he was really holding that car of children? Look at the Green Goblin. Did you ever believe he was really there flying around? I think the action figure looked more realistic. How about when Spider-Man was first jumping? It looks like a reject from the Toy Story movies, doesn't it? Now, some things were cool, like the Spidey sense and even 1 or 2 moments of him swinging around. But most of the time, I just felt like I was watching the video game for the movie as opposed to the actual movie itself. There's a scene where he jumps from a smaller building all the way to one that seems 3 times its size. Just how far can this guy jump anyway? It's funny because the Spider-Man suit itself actually sort of looks computer generated. So you'd think it would transfer well when they actually do have to animate him. Well, in the later films it does, in the first film it doesn't. But hey, at least they did get better. I mean, it could be worse. You could go the route of the Ninja Turtle movies and constantly make the effects worse and worse, to the point where Spider-Man was an animatronic puppet. But luckily they haven't gone that route. Yet. Number 7. Little to no Venom in Spider-Man 3. I might have mentioned before that I didn't read Spider-Man that much, but when I did, it always had Venom in it. He was my favorite Spider-Man villain and everybody was hyped to see him in the 3rd film. I'll admit I thought Topher Grace was a weird choice, but when I saw him in his role, I don't think he did that bad. Nothing great, but nothing terrible. And of course, when Venom finally did pop up, he looked great. The sharp teeth, the gooey black skin, he was a little scrawny, but he still looked great, and it was wonderful to finally see him on the big screen. For a whole 10 minutes! Like everyone else, I was pissed at how little screen time Venom got. In the comic, the suit tortured him, it tore him apart, but he was hopelessly addicted to it. That alone could fill an entire movie. But instead, he's mixed in with a ton of other wrestling plot points that he's only given a few minutes at the end. And even then, most of the time, his face is peeled back. Yeah, he has sharp teeth, great, go back to the monster! I'd probably be okay with it if I knew they were gonna bring him back for a sequel, but no. Spidey nukes the bastard and we never see him again. The flying spider balls! They should have just held off putting him in this movie, or maybe ended with the transformation of him and build it up for the next one. But no, he's there for a second and then Venom goes BOOM! What a fucking load! The one Spider-Man villain I think everybody wanted to see, and he gets nudged to the side by Emo Peter. Oh yeah, we'll get to him later. I guess it was good to see him, especially seeing how they're not continuing this particular story chain anymore. But man, like everyone else, I wish I could have seen a lot more of him. Not in that way!
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
Number 6. That cock tease romance. Okay, so Peter has the hots for Mary Jane. Whoop-de-doo. What does he do? Acts like a pussy and never talks to her despite the fact that he lives right next door to her. How is that possible? She's got a boyfriend, but he breaks it up because, I don't know, he's a fucking idiot. Does Peter move in? No, his best friend does. They continue to make googly eyes at each other until finally Mary Jane breaks up with the best friend, just as his father fucking dies. Ouch. So now Peter moves in, right? No, he's afraid that if his enemies find out who he is, they'll try to kidnap her to get to him. Well, that's okay. Your stupid old aunt is for that. She's been held hostage more time than a video game princess. So she hooks up with that astronaut guy who's so charming with his one fucking line, and then Peter acts like he's interested again. She gets proposed to and even says yes, but still wants to be with Peter, which is great because he wants to be with her. Oh wait, now he doesn't. Business first, bitch. So she finds out who he really is, and they agree they should stay separate because of the danger involved. But then she says, fuck Neil Armstrong, I'm gonna go with the pussy in the red pajamas. When he warns her about all the danger she could be in, she points out that even before she knew he was Spider-Man, she was getting fucking kidnapped all the time. So might as well have the sex. They finally get together, only to have Harry blackmail her into breaking up with him. Why? Because he'll kill Peter if she doesn't. But did she just forget that Peter and Spider-Man are the same person? Just tell the friggin' idiot! Go up to him and say, hey, Harry's got his memory back. He's right over there. Beat the shit out of him. The end. But no, she breaks up with him and never explains why. What a shame, he was gonna marry her and they were gonna live in, I don't know, an even bigger closet. But that's okay, another random kidnapping will solve that. He saves her life, of course, and they end up dancing. Did any of this bring them closer together? I don't know, but seriously, you two need counseling! Number 5. Dr. Octopuss's robotic arms. Okay, why do these things have artificial intelligence? I mean, what's the point? It's like giving AI to one of those robotic arms you get at the toy store. There's no need for it. You push a button, it grabs stuff. Easy.
Couldn't that make you vulnerable to them?
How right you are. Which is why I developed this inhibitor chip to protect my higher brain function. It means I maintain control of these arms, instead of them controlling me.
And even then, how far does the AI go? In the movie, the AI convinces him to finish the experiment by robbing banks, killing doctors, and hanging old ladies out of tall buildings.
Butterfingers.
What crazy fucked up idiot invented these things? Oh yeah, the crazy fucked up idiot who stole the idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I guess he sort of had it coming. But yeah, just to make it even goofier, the arms actually talk to him. Yeah, they don't say words, but they actually do talk to him. It's like a mechanical version of Lamb Chop's sing-along.
Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was.
What the hell do you think those things are even saying to him anyway? Hello, Octi. What do you think we should do today?
Rob a bank.
It's a little dark for you, isn't it?
Rob a bank!
Okay. Hell, the arms even scream with him when he finds out everything's gone wrong. yeah, there's pseudoscience and then there's so-so science. And this is just silly. You know, I sort of miss my wife. Fuck her! Okay! Fuck her. Number 4. The dialogue from Spider-Man 1. David Coop is one of Hollywood's most famous writers. He's written big hits like Jurassic Park, Death Becomes Her, and Panic Room. But he's also written some major stinkers like War of the Worlds, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and The Lost World. To me, he seems like a better storyman than he does a dialogue writer. And this really shows in Spider-Man. The story is actually pretty well paced and put together. Dialogue, on the other hand...
And when she got out of the car and you saw her for the first time, you grabbed me and said, Aunt May? Aunt May? Is that an angel?
Are you an angel?
Ugh.
You have a knack for saving my life. I think I have a superhero stalker.
Did I really just hear that?
What about my generous proposal? Are you in or are you out?
It's you who's out, Gobby. Out of your mind.
Okay, that's just straight up Adam West territory. Even on the commentary, you can hear Kristen Dunst make fun of it.
That's such a cheese line.
You out, Gobby. Out of your mind.
Jameson, you slime.
Slime? Really? He just called him slime? That's an insult that's still being used? In fact, was it ever being used?
We'll meet again, Spider-Man!
Jesus, this is sounding like, well, a comic book. Which, yeah, obviously it's based on a comic book, maybe that was the idea, but it's supposed to be a movie first. And a movie for adults, for that matter. These are sounding like lines you hear from a Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Join me, Turtles. Are you in or are you out?
Hey, you're the one who's out, Chrome Dome. Out of your mind. Yeah, cowabunga. I'm funny. How about that painfully forced scene with the New Yorker standing triumphant against, well, a flying green goblin?
You mess with Spidey, you mess with New York! You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us!
It was after 9/11, folks. We really felt that spirit, even though it was a little corny. Sorry. Well, there's no denying that the lines in this movie certainly sound like a comic book. I just wish it didn't sound like a 1960s comic book.
It's you who's out, Gobby. Out of your mind.
Oh, that sucks.
Number 3. Emo Peter. Yeah, y'all knew this was coming. Emo Peter has got to be one of the most hated aspects of Spider-Man 3. If not all the Spider-Man movies. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't understand why. Again, when I did read Spider-Man, I dug the stuff with the alien suit. In fact, that's one of the only Spider-Man collections I have. I knew the story. Peter is supposed to be tortured by the suit, the same way a crack addict is, or Gollum was from Lord of the Rings. It's one of those tragic attractions that just kept killing him. And it was good. It was a good story. While that was tragic, though, Peter goes more for comedy. And it's just geeky. I know that's weird me saying that, but it's just geeky. I mean, yeah, he's a geek, I got that, but this is pushing it. If they went for a more serious route, this movie could have actually been more effective. But when you see him dancing like that and acting so goofy, it's hard to get sucked into the torment he's supposed to be feeling. He doesn't have to dress different or comb his hair down. Frodo didn't need to do that. The people in Requiem for a Dream didn't need to do that. They don't need to look that way, they just need to act that way. Just show the serious side of the addiction. A little comedy's okay, but this is borderline Edward territory. When he does finally act mean and crazy, it's not really believable. Except maybe the stuff with the Sandman, but that's identifiable. He killed his uncle. That and he can't see the hair combed in front of his mask. But trust me, if he could, he would. And on a side note, I was really looking forward to that dream sequence done in the comic. Especially if Sam Raimi was doing it. It was in the comic, it was even in the cartoon. It'd be a fitting way to show the struggle that was going on in Pete's head. But nope, we got chocolate chip cookies and milk. Badass. Number 2. Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin. When I heard Willem Dafoe was gonna be the Green Goblin, I was hyped. I was like, oh yeah, that's the perfect choice, no question about it. But when he goes over the top, he really goes over the top.
So many good things all happening for you, all for you.
I guess that fucking costume didn't help much either. Did you ever see the original designs? They were actually pretty creative and awesome. And yet this is what they went with? No wonder he turned in the performance he did.
Think about it, hero!
The acting is traditional over-the-top Jekyll and Hyde. He changes his voice, makes big creepy faces, and plays innocent and meek when he has to confront his other self. Of course, every time you saw him on screen before the transformation, he was a threatening and demanding person. But as soon as he has to act against himself, he's a frightened, scared little bird.
You killed them. We killed them.
We?
Remember?
It's a trick actors love to use, overcompensating one side to make the other side look more threatening. It looks silly, but it looks silly.
Imagine if he joined us.
I'm also shocked that this guy uses gas in a building miles high where the wind can blow it away. And on top of that, he actually says sleep. Sleep. Don't you love it when you attack somebody how you tell them to be attacked?
Hey, what can I do for you? You will please be unconscious.
And what the hell was that sound? What, was he passing gas while passing gas? Sleep. Every time he was on screen, I didn't know how people didn't just burst out into laughing. I mean, look at this moment.
We can destroy him.
I can't.
Betrayal must not be countenanced.
It's a fucking Walmart mask on a chair. Was this really supposed to be threatening?
Make him wish he were dead.
Yes.
And then grant his wish.
But how?
You're a dirty little kitty, aren't you? He does everything over-the-top villains do. He laughs, he says cliched lines, he even sings.
Itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout.
When will the overacting ever stop? How about that scene where he makes Peter's aunt finish the prayer? That's... I don't know what that is.
Finish it! Finish it!
Tonight on America's Funniest Prayer Recitals. But the weirdest moment, and isn't that saying a great deal, is when they're on the rooftop and they're just talking.
Well, to each his own. I chose my path, you chose the way of the hero. And they found you amusing for a while.
No, nobody can have a conversation wearing these costumes. It's just impossible. One of you has to laugh.
I could squash you like a bug right now.
I know I lost it when I saw the Green Goblin do this.
Here's the real truth.
That has got to be the silliest image ever. Is he trying to act like he's just at the water cooler? Hey, Spider-Man, yo, rap with me, brother. Not to say I don't have fun watching him, because I do, but if it's supposed to be taken seriously, well, I think the Green Goblin put it best.
Misery, 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 that's what you've chosen.
And the #1 dumbest Spider-Man moment is... the dance scene. Yeah, I may like Spider-Man 3, but anyone can tell you that this is the dumbest thing ever. It breaks the mood. It changes everything. It sucks out any amount of seriousness you were going for. Let me tell you, when people saw this poster and they saw this trailer, this is not what they were expecting to see. This is straight up Jerry Lewis, right out of The Nutty Professor. Even by Spider-Man movie standards, this is too silly. It's like if Superman got on stage and tap danced, or if Wolverine went to a burlesque and did the can-can, or if... No! That did not happen! But what bothered me personally about this scene is the scene that follows. We go from something so silly and so over the top to Peter hitting his girlfriend and then crouched over a church. Now obviously this is your big emotional moment of the movie. But a few seconds ago it was followed by this. That doesn't work. You can't throw all those things together one after another. I'm a monster. I mean, look at this. If I just showed you this without any context, would you ever guess that this was from a Spider-Man movie? No, you'd say it was an outtake from the movie Chicago. Except even Chicago wouldn't be this silly. For many people, this is what killed Spider-Man 3 for them. This was the step that went too far. They could survive some of the plot holes, they could even survive Emo Peter, but they couldn't survive this. It was too cartoony, too out of nowhere, and too far removed from anything that people would consider Spider-Man. So yeah, Spider-Man 3 has the absolute worst moment of all the movies, but does that mean it deserves to be shunned away from the others? Why was this one deemed so terrible when the other two had silly moments as well? My thought is it's one of two reasons. Either audiences were finally sick of all the silliness and wanted a more grown-up comic book movie. Thank you. Or maybe Sam Raimi pushed the boundaries of what he could get away with and simply went too far. I personally would like to see a more serious Spider-Man movie made. I know Sam Raimi can direct serious films, I mean really good ones. So I guess I was a little disappointed when I saw the tone these movies were going for. But when I calmed down, I did see the hard work that was put into them and how a lot of the issues they discussed do still hold up. Like I said though, I just wouldn't take it too seriously. It's goofy fun action that actually does have some dramatic moments every once in a while. They're not masterpieces, but I don't think they're supposed to be. They're just silly comic book movies, nothing more. I keep hearing they're gonna do a reboot of these movies, and to be honest, I'm pretty curious to see them. Maybe the new films will find that more serious road, which I'll admit is a challenge. Costumed heroes are hard to take seriously, but movies have shown that it not only can be done, but it can be done very well. And until that reboot comes out, I'm gonna enjoy all the silliness and over-the-top scenes that these movies have to offer. Every web-slinging minute of it. I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember it? So you don't have to.
Finish it!